Okay, get this started. So we want, what do we want here? We want to know the length. So we want to go around this shape, right? So we need half a circumference plus 4 meters. So I know that if you want to take a walk around it, I already know this part, that's 4 meters. But we need that half a circumference, right, half a circumference. So let's find out what half a circumference is. Well, circumference is pi times d. And the diameter of that circle is 4. Oh, jeez. So hard. 4 pi. 4 times pi. And we get 12.57 rounded centimeters, meters. But I'm not interested in the whole thing. I'm going to divide that by 2. And I'm going to get 6.28 meters. So half a circumference, 6.28 centimeters. So to go around the circle, it's the 4, which is this, right? So imagine you're walking, you just walk 4 meters. Now you got to go around, right? Half a circle, 6.28. So the total distance is 10.28. Ignore these, I already told you in class, ignore these 22/7 and just use your pi button in your calculator. Find the area and the perimeter of the circle. Okay, so the area is pi r squared. Area equals pi, the radius is 14. We can leave it in terms of pi. 14 to the second power is 196, so we can leave that as 196 pi centimeters squared. Okay, I'm going to be lazy. And then the circumference, c equals pi d, c equals pi times 28, and again, this one I'm going to leave it in terms of pi. But just be careful because the circumference unit is centimeters and the area is centimeters squared. Alright, so here we want to find the circumference if the area, so we want to find the circumference, and to find the circumference I need a diameter, which I don't know right now, but I know the area. Let me write the area formula. The area is given to me, and that's 225 pi. Oops, let me write that correctly. So the area is 225 pi, right? And then I can get the radius out of that one. So I'll cross the pi's out, and all I'm left is 225 r squared. Remember, we take the square root of both sides, right? And then we get our variable r, and square root 25 is 15. So the radius of that circle is 15, and if the radius is 15, the diameter is 30 because it's 2 times. Now that I have that information, I can finally do what I wanted to do in the beginning, is find the circumference. Pi times 30, and then again, I'm going to take the lazy route and leave it in terms of pi. Next one is backwards. We want to find the area, and to find the area we need the radius of the circle, but we don't have the radius, we actually have the circumference. So c equals pi d. I'm actually given the circumference, which is 145.24. So based on that, let's find out what the diameter is. Well, divide both sides by pi, and we get the diameter is, I have no idea, 145.24 divided by pi, enter 4623, round it, 46.23 divided by 2, that's going to give us the radius, 46.23 divided by 2, so the radius, again rounded, 23.12. So now that I have the radius, I can finally go back here and find the area. Area equals pi, pi, and the radius again is 23.12 to the second power. Area equals 23.12 times 23.12 is going to give us 534.53 pi. What's the inches to the second power? And that's the answer for 3B. 3C, find the diameter of a circle. And I think, hopefully, if find the diameter of the circle, the circumference is 16K. Okay, so C equals pi d, right? So if they're giving us circumference, so I need to use this. I'm not going to use the area equals pi r squared. So I want to find a diameter. So there's a circle and I need to find a diameter. Well, they're telling me that the circumference is 16k. So let's find d. Divide both sides by pi. So I have, well, the k is not going to do anything, right? So k is, so 16 divided by pi, it's going to be 5.09 k. There's your diameter. And what's this in inches? Okay. 30 or 3D. Okay, it's going a little faster than I thought. Good. Area, what is this? Find the area of the circle. Okay, so if the circumference is 81 pi, so in order to find the area of a circle, I need the radius. I don't have the radius. I have the circumference. So using the circumference formula, I'm going to replace circumference with 81 pi, because that's what they're telling me the circumference is. And now I can find the diameter. Divide both sides by pi, or you could have just crossed them out, and you get the diameter is 81. If the diameter is 81 and you divide that by 2, you get that the radius, right, is 40.5. Now I have enough information, or what I needed, to find the area. So A equals pi r squared. The radius is 40.5. I'm going to take that to the second power. 40.5 times 40.5 is, so area of that circle is 1,640.25 pi meters squared. And if you want, if the question on the quiz asks for numerical value, then you have to multiply it by pi. But we're not going to do that right now. Find the radius of the circle if the area. So again, so this one, they give us the area, and we want the radius. Okay, so if they give us the area, I can use the area formula. A equals pi r squared. So I don't know what the radius is, but I do know what A is. Area is 225 pi. Well, equals pi r squared. We can cross out the pi's, right? We divide both sides by pi, and what left over is r squared is 225. So the square root of both sides, and we have that r equals, can we do this problem? R equals 15, right? The units feet, right? The radius is feet, all right? Okay, so basic questions. We want the area and the perimeter. Well, the area, this is a quarter circle, right? I hope you recognize that's a quarter circle. So let's do the area first. Area equals pi r squared. Area equals pi, and we know the radius is 10. So the area is 100 pi, what's the inch, centimeters squared. But because we're only interested in 1/4 of it, we're going to divide this by 4. 100 divided by 4 is 25, so we get 25 pi centimeters squared. And that's your area. Now, the perimeter is a distance that you would walk to go around the shape. So from here to here, you walk 10. So let's add the perimeter. The perimeter would be 10 plus this 10. And now you have to find out what this is. So now let me change color. This curvy part is 1/4 the circumference of a circle, right? So circumference of that circle is c pi d. C equals pi. And what's the diameter? Well, if the radius of that circle is 10, the diameter, right, the line that goes from one side to the other side of the circle going through the middle, will be 20. So c equals pi d. In this one, we actually have to change it to numerical. So 20 pi centimeters, and let's multiply 20 times pi. And we get 62.83 rounded. So if you were to take a look around the whole circle, it would be 62.83. We're going to divide that by 4. 62.83, divide that by 4, and we're going to get that the part that we're interested in, which is just this. Okay, so let me erase this. So we know that that's 10, and this curvy part is 15.71. So let me add that here, 15.71. So you're taking your dog for a walk, you will go 35 0.71 centimeters around that figure. Okay, so we have here, find the area of the shaded region for the next one. So it's a square. You think about it. You want the shaded region, right? Well, the shaded region is the area of the circle of the area of the square, right? And we have to remove that part here, and that would leave us with our shaded area, which is this. But notice that our shaded area, right? Our shaded area is actually, well, these four. If you take these four parts, right, and cut them out and put them together, it becomes a circle. So basically, all we have to do here is find the area of a circle, because these four parts, this part, this part, this part, this part, put together form a circle. Area equals pi r squared. Now you just gotta figure out what the radius is. Well, the radius is this part right here, right? That would be the radius. And it tells you that the whole thing is 12, so half of it would be 6. Right? So the radius is 6, so A equals pi 6 squared. Area, we can leave it in terms of pi, 36 pi centimeters squared. So that's it. So the area of this is 36 pi centimeters squared. Okay. We're moving. Again, this time, so find the area. Okay, so this one is almost exactly the same problem as the one before, except that. So hopefully you can see that this part, I'll call that part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. If you were to like flip 3 and 4, right, and put 4 over here, 3, it would form a circle. So finding the area of this, the area is the easy one. So let's find the area. The area would be the area, so that would be the area simply of the circle. A equals pi r squared, A equals pi. What's the radius? This is the radius right here. The radius 3, so 3 to the second power. A equals 9 pi meters squared. So the area is easy. We need to figure out the second part. Now we're going to take, again, I like to keep that example. So we're going to take a walk with our dog. So take a walk with a dog, it'd be half a circle. Actually, it's going to be a full circle. So if you think about, this would be a half circumference of a circle, and these along with these two would create a full circumference, right? Would create a loop around one full circle plus, and you have to remember you have to add these two. So if you were to walk, can't speak today, were to walk around this shape would be the circumference, sorry about the spelling, of a circle, right? Plus that 3 and plus the other 3. And that would give you the distance you would travel. So let's find the circumference of a circle. C equals pi d. Well, we can tell clearly that this is the radius, and the radius is 3, so the diameter is 6. So pi times 6. Let's multiply that out. So 6 times pi, enter, moving around, is 18.95. 18.95 rounded meters. So you're going to take a walk with your dog around that particular shape. It's 18.95 plus 3 plus 3, which is going to give us 24.95 meters. All right, same thing. So find the area and perimeter. So the area of this would be the area of half a circle, right? This is half a circle, plus the area of this rectangle here, plus the area of a triangle. Wow, so challenging. Well, let me write here. Rectangle, half a circle, plus a triangle. That's be the whole area, right? So the rectangle is a 50 by 20. So this would be 50 times 20, which is 1,000 meters squared. So a rectangle, it's easy. Half a circle. Well, area of a circle is a equals pi r squared. What's the radius here? What's that radius? Well, we know the whole from here to here is 20, so the radius is 10. So a equals 100. 10 to the second power is 10, 100 pi. We multiply that. 100 times pi, we're going to get 314 point, and we're going to round this 16. So the area of a full circle will be 314.16. We're going to divide that by 2 because we only want half the circle. 314.16 divided by 2, 157.08 meters squared. So I'm going to write over here 157.08. Now we want the area of a triangle. Wow. The area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2. The base of that triangle is 10. The height of that triangle is 20. And then we're going to divide by 2. So that's going to give us 100. Right? 10 times 20 is 100. Sorry. 10 times 20 is 100, and then divide by 2 is 10 times 20 is 200, and then divide by 2 is 100. So we have the area of all our shapes. Let's add them up. We get 1,257.08 meters squared. So that would be the complete area. Now the perimeter would be, again, taking your dog for a walk. You're going to take this side plus this side plus half a circumference plus this side and plus that. Add them all up together and you get the circumference, the perimeter of your shape. So add them up. Let's start from here. So that's 10. Ooh, we need the diagonal. Oh, I need to learn the Pythagorean theorem. Alright, I'm going to do it anyway. So c squared equals a squared plus b squared. There are a lot of things, I guess, that we haven't done with you guys. So C, in this case, Pythagorean theorem is used for right angle triangles. And if we have two sides, we can find the third one. So in this case, let me label this. I'll call this A, call this B, and C is always your hypotenuse, right? The side opposite your 90-degree angle. So C squared, A squared is 10, or 10 squared. B squared, we know that's 20, or 20 squared. So that's going to give us our hypotenuse, which is that side. So that's 100 plus 400. C squared equals 500. So we're going to, again, take the square root of both sides. And we get that C, the hypotenuse, square root of 500 is, again, it's going to be rounded, 22.36. Okay, so this diagonal is 22.36. So we have 10. You're taking your dog for a walk. You just walk 10 meters. And you walk 22.36. Now you're going to walk 50 meters. So let me put these numbers over here. We have 10, 22.36, plus 50. And again, there's another 50 here that you're going to walk as a dog, right? Plus another 50. And the only missing part that you need is this, the half a circumference of this circle. So C equals pi d. So what? The circumference. C equals pi. The diameter here is 20. So we get C equals 20 pi. And let's change that to a numerical value. And we get 62.83. So a lap around, so a full circle would be 62.83, but we want half of that. So 62.83 divided by 2 equals 31.42. Half a circumference is 31.42. So that's the last part we need to add. So if you're going to take a walk with your dog around this weird shape, again, let me highlight things. You're going to start here. You walk 10. Change to green. You walk 10. Then you walk 22.36. Then you walk 50. This is 31.42. And then you walk another 50. Add them all up, and you get 8, 7, what is this? I can barely see. It's 3, 5, 10, 15, plus 1, 163.78 meters. Find the area of the shaded region. So it's a big circle. So let's find the area of that big circle, and somebody takes a little bite here. Think about that. So let's find the area of the big circle. Big circle. So the area equals pi r squared. So what's the radius of the big circle? The radius of the big circle is this part, so which is 2. So area equals pi times 2 squared. Area equals 4 pi. So we're going to leave it like that for now. 4 pi centimeters squared. So the area of the circle, and then we're going to divide that by 2 because it's half a circle, sorry. So the area that we're interested in is 2 pi centimeters squared. So you had a half a cake. Okay, let me shade that with pink. And that cake was, the area of that cake is 2 pi centimeters squared. So somebody's going to come in, and I'm going to erase this again, take a bite, right? So let's measure that. So here we have a small circle. The 2 centimeters is the diameter of that small circle, which means the radius of that circle, small circle, is 1. So the small circle, the area of, and now imagine if it was a full circle, so the area of that small circle, it would be pi r squared. Pi, the radius is 1, so 1 squared or just 1, and that's simply the area of that small circle would be pi, right, if it was a full circle. But we're going to divide that by 2 because it's half a circle. So divide pi by 2, and we're going to get, so the area that we're interested in, which is half that small circle, right, it's going to be 1.57 rounded. 1.57, I guess I changed it, 1.57 centimeters squared. So let me change this at the bottom. So 2 times pi is 6.28. So this one is 6.28 centimeters squared. So all we got to do is subtract these two values. 6.28 minus 1.7 leaves us with 6.28 minus 1.57 equals 4.71. So, centimeters squared. So the area of the shaded, this part here that's left over, is 4.71 centimeters squared. 10. What do we do? Shares a square. Find the area of the shaded region. Okay, so let's do the shaded region. So again, think of it, another cake, chocolate, whatever, and somebody took a bite. So the area of the square, that should be, it's just 8 times 8, or 64 centimeters squared, right? So somebody comes and takes a bite. So we're going to subtract this circle here. Let's find the area of that circle if it was a full circle. Let's pretend that was a full circle. So put a dot there, that represents the center. So if we know that the diameter is 8, right? So that means this guy is 4 and this guy is 4. So the radius of that circle is 4. So A equals pi r squared. The radius is 4, so we're going to get 4 squared. We get 16 pi. So the area of a full circle, right? If that was a full circle, it would be 16 pi. But because it's not a full circle, I'm going to divide that by 2 and 8 pi. So 8 pi represents this half a circle. But we're going to change that. 8 times pi, 8 times pi, 25.13. So that's what we're going to subtract. So we're going to subtract the area of the square, which is 64, minus half of circle, 25.13, and we're left with shaded part that's left over, 38.87 centimeters squared. Now, so that's how much left over. We got to do the perimeter. So now we're going to go back to you walking your dog. So walking your dog, that's 8. You walk another 8, you walk another 8. So we know the perimeter is 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus, and we're missing one part. And the part that you're missing, the last part that you're taking your dog for a walk, is this part right here in green, which is half a circumference of a circle, right? Half circumference of a circle. So let's find the circumference of this circle if it was a full circle. So if you were to take a walk around a full circle, right? C equals pi d. The diameter here now it's 8, right? So it's C equals pi times 8. Oh my God. So difficult. 8 times pi is 25.13 for a full circle. Now we're going to divide that by 2. So the circumference we're interested in, or it's half, is 12.57. So when you walk your dog, it's 8 plus 8. Right, so 8 plus 8 plus 8. So I'll put 8 over here. And this part right here, let me erase this. Right, this curvy part that you just walking the dog is 12.57. So the last part is 12.57. So we get 24 plus 12.57. So the perimeter is 36.57 centimeters. Okay. Hopefully by now you notice that this is quite repetitive. The shapes might be different, but it's the same thing. Find the area of this shape. So again, if you want to find the area, let's break this into 4 parts. And if you were to move them around, right, and like think of it like a puzzle, if you right, it would create a circle. So the area is pretty easy. It's just the area of a circle, right? So area equals pi r squared. We got to find out what the radius is, and they give it to us right here. Look, the radius is 7. So pi times 7 squared, and we're going to leave this in terms of pi because I'm going to be lazy. 49 pi centimeters squared. Area, done. Now, the perimeter is, again, let's go back to the walking your dog. So you walk your dog. These 4, this one, and this one, and this one, these 4 parts form the circumference of a circle. So to walk your dog around the shape, it's like walking around a circle made up of these 4 parts, plus 7, which is this part over here. Let me change colors. Plus 7, and plus this one, which is also 7. So the perimeter is circumference of a circle. I'm going to put circumference of a circle plus 7 plus 7. Right? Circumference of a circle plus 7 plus 7. So we have the 7 and we have the 7. So let's find what the circumference of the circle is. So C equals pi d. The diameter is, sorry, the radius is 7, so the diameter is 14. So let's multiply 14 times pi, and we get 43.98. So here I'm going to replace this as 43.98. So if you're walking your dog around that shape, it's 1457.98 centimeters, the perimeter. Right? Very, very repetitive. We want the area and the perimeter. So again, area. So the area here, hopefully you guys can see it, is going to be, well, you know that this 1, 2, 3, 4, those 4 parts combined form 2 circles. So the area, the total area of this weird shape is 2 circles plus a square in the middle. Okay. So let's find the area of one of the circles, because if you know the area of the circle multiplied by 2. So area equals pi r squared. So the area is, the radius, sorry, the diameter, right? This is 14, so that means the radius is 7. So I'm just going to put, so A equals 7 to the second power, area equals 49 pi. We're going to multiply by 2 because there are 2 circles. So times 2, it's going to give us 98 pi. And we're going to change that times pi. We're going to change that. And that's going to be 307. So the area of 2 circles is going to be 307.88 centimeters squared. Plus, what's the area of the square? Well, the square, let me erase everything. That side measures 14, which means every side measures 14. So the square is just 14 times 14, which is 196. The area of the square is 196 centimeters squared. So the total area, 307.88 equals 503.88 centimeters squared. So that's the area of your that shape there. Okay. Now your perimeter, again, let's walk your dog. I don't even know if you guys have dogs. So it'd be this, plus this, plus this, plus that, right? So you're going around this shape. And wow, and if you notice, that's the same thing as walking around two circles, right? So this part, this one, and the bottom one combined is one circle. And then the side ones combined makes the other circle. So it's like walking around, take your dog around for a loop around the track twice. So let's find the circumference of what circle? Circumference is pi times d. Circumference is pi. What's the diameter? The diameter is 14. Well, to walk around once around a circle, that particular circle is 14 pi. But because we're going twice, we multiply that by 2, we get 28 pi. So, and you can leave it as 28 pi. If you left it at 28 pi, what is it? Centimeters? No problem. If you watch, we want to know the distance. It's 87.96 centimeters. So to take a walk around this shape, the perimeter of this, right, the same thing as walking around that circle 2 times. All right, so now we have a triangle. So find area and perimeter again. So the area, please don't. Okay, you don't need to use the Pythagorean theorem here. Which I don't know why we didn't do it this year. So let's find the area. So the area of the triangle plus area of the circle. Oops, that's not what I meant. Area of the triangle plus area of the circle. Well, area of the triangle is base times height divided by 2. And base is 6. Height is 8, so 6 times 8 divided by 2, and that gives us 24. The area of the circle is pi r squared. So we're going to divide it. Also, let me put that divide by 2 because it's half a circle. So pi, the radius, we know the diameter is 10, so the radius is 5, so 5 squared divided by 2. So pi times 25 divided by 2. So pi times 25 enters divided by 2. 39.27 rounded. So we're going to add these two. If we add these two, 39.27 plus 24, it's going to be total area is going to be 63.27 meters squared. That's for the area. The perimeter again, taking your dog, you just walk 6 meters. Take your dog this way, you're going to walk 8 meters. Now we've got to walk this curvy part, and that curvy part is half a circumference of a circle. The circumference of a circle is pi times d. C equals pi, the diameter is 10, or 10 pi. Let's divide that by 2. And the circumference that we're interested in, circumference, half circumference, right? It's half a circle. It's 10. It's pi times 10 divided by 2. That's going to equal to, numerically, 15.71. 15.71 meters. So, the last part that we needed to add is 15.71 meters. So that's going to give us 29.71. So if you want to walk around this particular shape, you would walk 6, 8, and then 15.71 for the half circumference, and the total that you walk with your dog is 29.71 meters. Find the area. Okay. Find the area of the shaded region. Okay, so the area of the shaded region, it's a full circle. If you think about it, if I take this part over here, right? take this part over here, cut it, I can put it in here. So literally the area of this shape is just half a circle. Half the area. So area of the shaded region, so I'm going to write area of the shaded region is half pi r squared. So whatever, let me write it a little better. So it's shaded region, but the area of the shaded region is just half a circle. So we're going to go pi r squared, and then we're going to divide it by 2. So pi, what's the radius of this circle, of our circle here? What's the radius here from here to here? Well, the radius is 2. We're going to go 2, and then whatever area we find, we're going to divide by 2. So we get 4 pi divided by 2, which is just 2 pi. So our final answer is 2 pi centimeters squared. Okay, so, all right. The area of the shaded region is half a circle. So the full circle would have been 4 pi, and half a circle obviously is 2 pi centimeters squared. Now the perimeter, and again, so if you think about, so the perimeter would be what? So again, you're going to walk this, which is half the circumference of the big circle. If you're walking your dog, let's find the circumference of that full circle. So c equals pi d, c equals pi, and the diameter here is, well, if that's 1, from here to there is 1, this is all, this little piece over here is 1, which makes this 2, right? Because that's the other half. So the diameter is 4. So c, the circumference of a full circle, is 4 pi. We divide that by 2, the circumference is 2 pi. And we might need to, so 2 times pi is 6.28. So 6.28 centimeters. So this little part that I just walked with my dog, right here, is 6.28. Now I'm going to walk, change colors, I'll walk this part right here, and I'm going to walk this part right here. Okay, and if you notice, if I put those two together, it's simply one full circle. A smaller circle, but one full circle. Okay, so the circumference of that smaller circle, right? So again, that green and this green, so it's pi times the diameter. And if you notice, we have the radius. The radius is 1, which makes the diameter 2. So c equals pi times 2. And it's 2 pi. And we can, again, I actually didn't need to change it to numerical. We could have just written, so 2 pi plus 2 pi would have been 4 pi. But you know what? Let's just change it. So circumference is 6.28 centimeters as well. So the total, we got to add those two. So the total, or the perimeter, is 6.28 plus 6.28, and it gets 12.56 centimeters. Don't you dare. Charge. Uh-oh. Come on. Okay, why are you not charging? Sorry guys, give me a second. Oh no. I'm gonna save this. No. Finish at 14.